So question number 30 here, we are finding the exact values of inverse sine, inverse cosine, inverse tangent, and so you are going to pay attention to several things. We know sine inverse is restricted to between negative pi over 2 and pi over 2. Cosine inverse between 0 and pi, and tangent inverse, again, negative pi over 2 and pi over 2. And if you recall, when we deal with the unit circle here, we are going to be doing positive and negative. So positive pi over 6, negative pi over 6. Positive pi over 4, negative pi over 4. Positive pi over 3, negative pi over 3. Whoops, where'd you go? And positive pi over 2, negative pi over 2. So that's going to be for inverse sine and inverse tangent. So sine inverse and tan inverse, where are you going? Are positive here in quadrant 1, and sine inverse and tan inverse are negative in quadrant 4. Cosine inverse is also positive in quadrant 1, but cosine, what's this doing? Inverse is negative in quadrant number 2. So that's what you have to kind of keep in mind here. So we're doing sine inverse of negative 1/2. So you jump to your unit circle, and again, sine inverse is saying what is the value, what is the angle when sine is equal to positive 1/2. So that angle is pi over 6. This is saying what is the angle when cosine is equal to 1 over negative root 2. Now 1 over negative root 2 is really the same as rationalizing this. And this is really asking what's the angle when cosine inverse is negative root 2 over 2. Again, cosine inverse is negative in quadrant number 2. And it's going to be negative root 2 over 2 when the angle is 3 pi over 4. We need to know when tangent is root 3. Tangent inverse is root 3. So that really is root 3 over 1. Tangent is positive in quadrant number 1. So go to quadrant number 1. And tangent is sine over cosine. So sine over cosine is going to be right here at pi over 3. So again, sine over cosine is root 3 over 2 divided by 1 over 2, which is root 3. But sorry, pi over 3. This is pi over 3. Next one down. When is sine inverse root 3 over 2? So sine inverse is negative. No, sorry, negative root 3 over 2. So sine inverse is negative in quadrant number 4. And it's negative root 3 over 2 right here. And that angle would be 5 pi over 3, but it doesn't exist at 5 pi over 3. So you have to look at kind of like the fact that that is pi over 3 in the negative direction. So that's going to be negative pi over 3. Letter E, when cosine inverse is positive 1/2. So cosine inverse is positive in quadrant number 1. So what's the angle when cosine is 1/2? Well, that angle is going to be right here, pi over 3. Letter F, tan inverse of negative 1. So tangent is negative, so we're talking quadrant number 4. That's when tangent is negative. And we're looking to see what's the angle when tangent is negative 1. Well, remember, this is sine over cosine. Negative root 2 divided positive root 2 is going to give you a tangent that's negative 1. So that angle, again, is negative pi over 4. Moving down, I think it's on the next page. Letter G. So we need to know when sine inverse is -1. So sine is -1 in quadrant number 4. It's down here. So we need to know when sine is -1. So sine is -1 down here at -pi/2. So when sine is -1/2, the angle is -pi/2. Cosine inverse is 0. Okay, so cosine inverse is 0, where cosine is 0. Cosine is 0 here, and this angle is going to be pi/2. Where tan inverse is 0. So we need to know where tangent is 0. So tangent is from here to here. So tangent is going to be 0. Again, you're looking at sine over cosine. So sine over cosine is going to be 0 divided by 1, which is 0 here. It's not here or here. If you do 1 divided by 0, that's undefined. -1 divided by 0 is undefined, so it's only going to exist here at 0. Zero, 0 pi means the same thing. Here, if you recall, we work from the inside out. So we're doing a combination of looking at inverse and non-inverse here. So we need to know what's the angle when sine inverse is √3/2. So what's the angle when sine is √3/2? So sine's positive, and sine is √3/2 when we have a pi/3. So this is really, I have simplified sine inverse of √3/2, that's pi/3. Then it is asking, what is the cosine, not inverse cosine, but the cosine of pi/3. So go to pi/3 on that unit circle, and cosine, sine. Cosine is going to be equal to 1/2. Tan inverse of -1. So it's your first step. We need to know when tangent is -1. Tangent is negative in quadrant number 4. And tangent is going to be negative when your sine over cosine is negative. So that's going to be -pi/4 right here. So now it's asking, what is sine of -pi/4? So as you go back to your unit circle, here's -pi/4, and the sine of that value is going to be the y value here, which is -√2/2. So that is the answer. Letter L. Okay, we've got a 1/√2. We're going to simplify that as √2/2. 2/√2, multiply that. So this is really asking cosine inverse of -√2/2. So what is the angle when cosine is -√2/2? Cosine is negative in this quadrant here, and cosine is -√2/2 when we have a 3pi/4. So what that means here is that we're going to find the tangent of 3pi/4. Now, 3pi/4, again, is that ordered pair -√2/2, √2/2. Right? So tangent of that would be sine over cosine. Sine over cosine is √2/2 divided by -√2/2. Which is equal to -1. All right, almost done here. Next one. We're not on the unit circle because we have an 8/5 for inverse cosine. So what we know here is that cosecant inverse is 8/5. This means, if you again go back to the ratios like from question 17, this is going to be r over y. And we're trying to find sine, and remember sine is y over r. So sine here is going to be equal to (5/8). So you didn't actually have to create the triangle here because they already gave the radius and they gave you y, and I just needed y over radius. For the sixth problem here, we do need to make the triangle here. So sine again is y over r. So we have an r of 13, a y value of 12. You're going to use the Pythagorean theorem or Pythagorean triplets to know that it's a 5, 12, 13 triangle. So this is y. This is x. This is y. And this is r. And tangent is opposite over hypotenuse, or y over x, which is 12 over 5. Again, how did I get the 5? I did x squared plus 12 squared equals 13 squared and solve this. And I got my x of 5. Finally, letter O. So cosine of 11 pi over 6. So go to your unit circle, go to 11 pi over 6, and cosine is root 3 over 2. So we still got root 3 over 2 there, and now we need to know what is cosine inverse of root 3 over 2. So what's the angle when cosine is root 3 over 2? So be careful here, because again, we're trying to find cosine inverse. So this was 11 pi over 6, but when it's cosine inverse, that's really negative pi over 6. Careful here. You have to, that's not correct. Cosine inverse is positive in quadrant number 1. I went to the wrong place. So we used the 11 pi over 6 to get the 3 over 2. And again, you're going to go to the unit circle, and you're going to quadrant 1 because cosine inverse is positive root 3 over 2. Cosine inverse is positive root 3 over 2. So this is right here at positive pi over 6. So we ended up switching quadrants. So this is positive pi over 6 because cosine inverse was positive.